Well, if you're looking for a really easy family trail in the West Country, you cannot really get much better than the Camel Trail. The Camel Trail is about 15 kilometres long, so you'd have to double that if you're going to go all the way from one end to the other and back. But the views are stunning, the places to visit are great, and it's really easy. So this ride, we're going to start down here in Bodmin, and we're going to end up normally in Padstow, but we're actually going to go beyond into Travone. But you can really help us with these rides. We've got rides all over the country, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and ideally make a comment as well underneath. That really helps us. So we're going to start in Bodmin. There's dedicated parking, which I will indicate are there. Then we head our way up through some wonderful woodland and scenery against the estuary into Wadebridge, and then we follow the open estuary where you can got views across Rock and St Enodoc all the way into Padstow, and then you can stop at Padstow. It's a great place to stop, but we actually went on to visit the beach at Travone. So here we are in the car park, which is at the pub. It's the Borough Arms, and you can see it's a great car park. And there's our tandem leaning up against the sign there, and we're going to start from here and we head down there. It's a little bit of a switchback to get down onto the trail, and then we had to turn round underneath the bridge, which was the only bit that was wide enough. But the purpose of these videos that we make for you is so that you can make your own judgments on the thing. So here you can see that we're just going past the steam engines. So Bodmin Junction, there are steam trains that come and go regularly. Didn't manage to get any footage of that. Look at the quality of the ground that you can see here. Excellent quality. So you could ride this on almost any bike. Just a couple of gates as you work your way through, but very few puddles, very few potholes. So we're working our way now out of the car park at Bodmin, heading along the first section. We've gone past Bodmin Junction, and we're now beginning to turn and head north. And as we head north, you get the sun behind you. The surface dries out, but it remains wide enough, though you will meet other people on the way, particularly walkers and dog walkers, so don't forget to use your bell. The journey is really easy. If you look in the top right hand corner of the screen, you can see the map of the journey. So the far end of the journey is actually right in the middle of that map, because we turn around and return, and you can see the hills are all reserved for beyond Padstow. So this section we follow along, it's fairly sheltered, and the river is on your left as we head out. So we follow along the edge of the Camel River until eventually we cross over. They were doing a little bit of work there, and now we've crossed over, and as we head towards Wadebridge, and you can see from the map there, we're heading now towards Wadebridge, and the river is now on our right. So we're getting towards Eglishale, passing in, and it opens right out. Now just for a short section you have to, as you enter Wadebridge, you will have to go on the road, but you can see there's a cycle route that is mapped out, and we follow the cycle route round. If you're unsure, then do feel free to get off, and we work our way around, and you get to the cycle store there, the Bridge Bike Hire. There's cafes, there's toilets, there's places to stop, and you might want to call it a day at this point particularly if you've got younger children, and then turn around. Although I would recommend that the next section into Padstow is probably the more interesting. The original parking was free. The parking here in Wadebridge you will have to pay for, and again it's in Padstow and it's quite expensive there. But here's the Seven Arch Bridge in Wadebridge. The tide was out at this time, and you could see that the seabirds had come in, and there are a lot of people bird watching. But there's lots to see, and your marker there is that new modern bridge that passes over the river further up to the west. So places to sit, you can rest. We had a little chat with this couple here who were looking at our tandem, and as I say, that bridge there is the one you can use as your marker as when you're getting near to Wadebridge, because you can see it from miles around. But loads of people are using the trail, and it's really excellent. So stage one between Bodmin and Wadebridge is really good. It tends to be a bit more wooded, a bit more shady, but now we're heading off from Wadebridge, and you can see the quality of the surface is actually spectacular. to be honest, you could probably do most of this route into Padstow with just an ordinary modern road bike. You know, if you've got 28mm tyres, you'll be fine. So we're working our way along, and now you'll notice that the estuary is opening up on our right, and it's really easy ride. It's a very, very gradual climb in places. So we head down, but no, once you get to Wadebridge, you start to go up a little bit and rise above the water. So we're looking down, but you can see the quality is excellent, and occasionally you're going through cuttings. It is an old railway line, but again, still you can see the quality of the surface is excellent. And now the sun at midday here is more to the south, so it's on our left coming in. It was pouring with rain for much of the day that we were there, but here's views across this lower part of the estuary. And if you're a bird watcher or you interested in wildlife, there's loads to see out there. We saw oyster catchers, we saw cormorants, we saw a whole range of different birds out on the water. Lots of waders, lots of mud shovelers. So we're now working our way up for the final section towards Padstow, and you get along the edge of the water here. Occasionally the views disappear because you're in a cutting through the harder rock, and then we're just going to rise up through this section. And it does get busier in this section between Wadebridge and Padstow because it is very pretty, and you get a lot of runners and a lot of cyclists. But here we go. I did a little bit of live footage for you just so that you could see what it's like. And yeah, it's really nice. It wasn't too cold as well, so elsewhere in the country it was really icy, but today it wasn't bad at all. And then we get to this bridge, and we stopped on the bridge to have a little look around, and you can see from here, you can see rock over there. That's rock, very famous place, and just beyond it you've got sand dunes, and then on to Damer Bay and St Enna Docks. So here we are, we've made it into Padstow, and we stopped in Padstow and we had our lunch here. Be careful, no cycle parking when you get towards the harbour, so you'll have to park further back outside of town, or keep your bike with you. What we did was we took it with us and we sat around the harbour and we chained it to the bench that we were sitting on. It was February, it was cold and windy, and so there was nobody here really to worry about it. It wasn't over busy. It was busy, very busy, but it wasn't over busy for Padstow, which can get absolutely heaving in the summer months. But lots to see, and you can see there's still a good number of people here. And we just sat on a bench and padlocked our tandem to the back of the bench. Padstow is a wonderful old historic harbour, a very safe harbour out. The only issue that it's always had is silting up with a silt from the Camel. But you can see there's lock gates on the harbour, which keeps the boats afloat when the tide is low. So we left this. Now this is the third part of our journey, and you can see from the map here, we're going to be going out of Padstow, and we're going to take the northern route to get there. And this takes us through a farm, and this is very steep. So you can see from the terrain map that we've got in the top right hand corner there that actually this is where we get to that big hump that you can see. So if you're not a great one for climbing, then you can avoid that bit, but you can see this is very different surface. This is muddy and you'll need fairly good tyres. We've got 38mm hybrid tyres, so that was enough for us. But you come out and then you rejoin the road above Travone, and you can see Travone Bay there. Now you don't have to do this, it's not officially Camel Trail, but I think it's just an interesting bit to do. But it's a savage decline down to the harbour, so just be aware, you've got to have your brakes good. You absolutely scream down here, and we found a bench just above the harbour, and we sat there and we had our soup and some bread and some flapjack, and then Had a little look around the beach. The waves were absolutely smashing in against the rocks. But it's the drama. We all love the drama of the sea. You can see the fabulous storm that's going on out there. We thoroughly loved it. It was the best bit of the journey in some ways, because it was so exciting. And then we're now heading back out of Travone, and we're taking the southern route, so we're coming through the village, and it's very quiet. There's not a lot going on here, but the roads are narrow, so you will have to navigate around cars that are passing each way, but not too many of them in February. Probably horrendous in the summer. There's a big car park down there on the beach, which of course is another place you could start if you wanted. But we're now heading up through the farms, but this time you can see our return is all on the road. So if you wanted to and you just had road tyres, you could have done this whole journey to Travone just using road tyres. Now we're back onto what is actually quite a major road, but then we cut off down one of the back villages, and we're now going to join the Camel Trail through this little estate. So now we hit the Camel Trail back again here. So we're just east of Padstow, not far from that bridge that you can see there. That was the bridge that we stopped at earlier on, and so you can see the quality of the surface. We've literally just joined it from that housing estate, and now we're going to head back. I sped it up a little bit for going back, and you can see we didn't stop quite so often, but we're now going to head through. Now it's had the day has dried out a little bit, so you can see that the just last few puddles are there, and we're heading up the hill now to get out of sort of the environs of Padstow, but much quieter when you get to about 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. Generally people are heading back, and you'll find that the section between Wadebridge and Padstow has got a lot more bikes on it, and that's because they pick them up at the hire store in Wadebridge and then cycle into Padstow. And if we're honest about it, parking in Padstow is grim and expensive, and this is probably the easiest way to get there. It's not hard at all, and if you've got an electric bike, well, you can do it with your eyes shut. Very easy. So we're now heading back along. Now we're back in Wadebridge. We're at the Bridge Bike Hire, and there's great toilets here. You can stop for cafe, and a lot of bikes were all parked up. So we came back, topped up our water, used the toilets, and then we headed back along this cycle path through the supermarket car park, around the edge there, and using the cycle path that's marked out, we then head our way along and back onto the Camel Trail. And from here it's really straightforward. We just head our way back. Now we're back within the woodland, and you'll notice the road here hasn't dried out quite so much. It's a little bit muddy on the surface, so if you've got very slick tyres you might find you slip around a bit. But there again, earlier on there'd been a lot of bird watchers at places all the way along here, so maybe some migratory speciality had flown in. So we're now heading back. Please do, whilst you watch this, do click on the subscribe button we've got down below. It really does make quite a difference to us, because that way our routes can be found, otherwise they never beat the mathematics of the algorithm. We've got lots of other routes as well. The Camel Trail is one of the great ones. Also in the West Country there, you've got the Tarka Trail that runs down through really the edge of Devon, Dorset and Somerset, all around there. Straight through Exmoor, really starts from Ilfracombe and heads its way down really in Devon. That's a wonderful route as well, another railway, and that goes from north to south. This one goes from east to west. So we're now heading our way back round to Bodmin, and soon we'll be back in the town and back at our car park. We'd love to know from you what other routes you fancy us documenting. We have got hundreds all over the country, from Scotland, around the islands, all the way down across into the east of the country. Almost everywhere in the UK we have routes. Snowdonia, all the beautiful parts. We love the Yorkshire Dales and we do a lot of journeys. So we've got well over 100 different routes that are around. So here we are, returning the final stage past Boscarn station. We're returning to the car park where we started. And up we go. So round here we need to turn right, and we pushed up, saved the journey. So we're now heading back up, back into the car park and ready to pack up for the journey home. So thank you for joining us. We are the Tandem Channel. You can find this route and loads of others on our Commute page, which is Paul and Diane on the Tandem. If you search for that, you'll find us. And we've got loads and loads of routes. You see on the right hand side there of that page, you can download a GPX file to load in. So here's the Camel Trail. We've got lots of those. That's Bideford to Meath. We've got Swale Trail, which is a wonderful route. Definitely that's in Yorkshire. The Llangollen Canal we've done, so North Wales and through Snowdonia. Kennet and Avon Canal, another beautiful ride that we've got for you. Around the islands of Scotland, so this is the Long White Road in Arran, which is beautiful. And if you want to get into London from the southeast, then we've got routes that take you all the way from Surrey into the heart of London, if you're interested. This one is in South Wales, so we take you around Pembrokeshire, and virtually the whole of the coast of Kent is now documented by us, so you can follow that route around. We've also got other experiments that we've done, so we've looked at whether it's possible to wax a chain. So don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, and hunt through the rides that we've got. Use the links below. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in our next ride. Bye for now.